test the things that you think could double sales conversions. Don't don't look to increase sales conversions by, 0.75%. Like, you're not optimizing. You're looking, test the idea, test the headline, test the offer, test the lead. Don't test the first sentence of the fourth paragraph on the fifth page of your VSL. Test the things that you think can double sales conversions, triple sales conversions, right? And the things that can double and triple sales conversions are things like the idea, the lead, and the offer, period. Go ahead, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, it's just the button sorts of things. It's easy to fool yourself into thinking you've done something that's statistically significant.
Yeah.
And if it's plus or minus, 3 sigma, whatever.
Yeah, but and you hear people though that are like, look, man, I changed the background color on my page, and man, we got an extra 3% sales. 3% over the course of a year is that one change is worth $38,000 to me, just the background, and it's ridiculous, really, because if they did go back and retest it, it's very possible that they could see.
There are so many variables behind that.
Yeah. The other thing is that there's source of traffic, timing, day, everything, but it's why we don't do a whole lot of optimization testing, because I really just don't believe in it. And I like the philosophy, besides the fact that Mark is a genius, I like the fact that when we test things, we're looking for these massive impact, so that I know it's not like a fluke, weird thing. That's what we.
Otherwise, you're literally spending your life in the aim and optimize the aim sorts of things, and you're never getting shots off.
Correct.
You're better off getting a shot off, see what happens based on it.
Correct.
And you rarely optimize. You rarely tweak the argument, right? You said that yesterday.
Yeah, meaning, look, I've said before, I've never once gone back and changed the first sentence of the third page, of a VSL. Never, ever, not once, never, ever. And so, because that's not it, you know what I mean? That's not what will, look, somebody's going to hit your page. First of all, the idea. Sometimes the idea is just off the mark. The idea just doesn't resonate. It's not super powerful. It's not going to get a lot of clicks. It's not going to get a lot of visits. People aren't interested. It's off the mark. Changing the idea is something that can radically impact the performance of a campaign. As well, the lead. How you open that tells somebody whether the campaign is for them, whether you got their attention. That's the idea is what gets attention. The lead, the first 300, 400, 500 words is what determines whether you get engagement. The way to look at it is this. I see an ad for something and I say, this seems interesting. Let me see what this is about. Then I go and I play the video. And right away, what I'm doing is I'm using the start of that video to see if this is something that I want to know more about. Is this what I thought it was going to be when I clicked on the ad, or is this not? Or do they say something at the beginning of the video, let's say, that makes me feel like, oh, I thought this was going to be about X, but it's really about Y. Or I thought it was going to be for me, but they said something like, this is for new entrepreneurs, or telling me that this isn't for me. So the idea, the hook behind the marketing message is what gets the attention, but it's the lead that creates engagement. And so the lead is what they've talked about before. The lead is, if we look at the Pareto principle, 80-20, 80% of whether your marketing campaign gets consumed is determined by the lead, is determined by that first 20%, less than 20% really. And so you don't nail that, if that's boring, if you say something if you use any kind of language that excludes any one group or anything like that we talked about, they bounce. And then the offer. Right? So, and then the offer. And everything else in between is nowhere near as important. The only thing that I will say is you just want to make sure that you do want to provide a rock solid argument. There are instances where you could see on a webinar, for example, where people will click an ad, they'll go to a registration page, they'll register at a 30% opt-in rate or 35% like your campaign. They will then, the people that show up, they'll then stay, let's say, to the end. But if you see that there's a huge drop-off right before the offer or when you transition into the offer, it means that you didn't provide an argument argument that moved people to want the thing that you are about to offer, so they're not even interested in the offer. Does that make sense? Increase offer quantity. Very simple. Give people more opportunities to buy. If a campaign has two offers in it, add a third one in. Right? If there's no downsell, put a downsell in. If there's no second upsell, put a second upsell in. What we're doing is we're giving people that are interested in buying more opportunities to buy. I said to you, we use the rule of 2 no's out. They say no twice, they're done. If they say yes, give them an additional opportunity to buy. Right? If people are telling you they want more, give them more. Remember, I said to you yesterday that you will lose more customers by not giving them enough offers than you will by giving them too many. I very rarely have clients, whether it's our top 1 folks or private intensive clients or students, I very rarely see people making too many offers to their list. That is a rarity. But what I see all the time is not enough. And this is kind of a macro level as well as a micro level in the campaign. Right? Very, very simple to add in another offer. We talked about bump offers, impulse bump offers. So these little checkbox gigs. And I said to you that you want these things to be an impulse buy. So they should be priced as an impulse buy. They should be the thing at the counter, right? Like when you're checking out at the food store or whatever, that you want to add something. It should be relative to the thing that they just bought. It should be fairly inconsequential, negligible pricing wise. It shouldn't require them to go back into full-blown decision-making mode. It should be congruent to the main product, right? So you don't want to just throw something in there. The power is not in having a bump offer. The power is having the right bump offer. One that is congruent, one that adds more value, one that makes them feel like I could get a massive amount of additional value for very little money. And we talked about the value of this voyeuristic feel, that people love to look over the shoulder, the video of here's me getting into an Uber or whatever thing.
I tagged you, so you got one today, kind of peek.
There you go, a secretive,
So if your people put it up.
blurring out the screen. I don't know. It's crazy, but nevertheless, right? And it's the another idea that I had given for another financial publisher was, send this guy to Warren Buffett's annual Berkshire Hathaway meeting, let him take notes in his private notebook, and then take out that private notebook and take photocopies of that, turn it into a PDF, and now share his private notes from his private notebook. That's great. That's right. It's even like you look at a bodybuilder. Even there's a huge difference. It's so funny how you take a professional bodybuilder, Jay Cutler, or one of these guys. It's very different to have a beautiful, pretty one-page document of his workout that the company created to make look nice. It's a totally different thing if we just take a screenshot of his personal workout book with his notes in there, and there's a voyeuristic feel. What was that?
Yeah, it's his scribbles. It's much more authentic and
it's much more believable. Exactly. Authentic, genuine. You feel like I'm getting something behind the scenes. You feel like I'm getting additional access. There's something special about that. That's the level that you need to think as it relates to your impulse bumps. And I talked about that I don't believe that there is a case that I would have a front end offer with an order form that does not have a bump offer. Like, I cannot imagine going out, knowing what it is. Remember this, okay, when you're thinking about the volume of offers, the number of offers, think of this, right, that unless you totally screw this up, there is always a percentage of people that will take the better option, that will take the additional option, right? So you are, no matter how low the percentage, you will leave money on the table if you don't have these offers. Done right, an offer, a great bump offer, like you saw, can do 50%. 40%, and think of the impact. Think of the impact at having a $25 bump offer, right? Think of the impact that can have on your AOV. We talked about the fourth type of AOV booster is the upgrade bump. This is where you are marketing and selling one type of product, a lower product, and then only on the order form, you're giving them the opportunity to get more, to get a higher version or a better version. And I explained yesterday that one of the savviest ways to pull this off is to make the jump in price negligible, but make the value go up substantially. So little bit more money, lot more value. Little bit more money, lot more value. Make it so that people say, well, why would I do this when I can do this? Like, it's only a few bucks more and I get a lot more. And these guys, Brian and Scott from Samcart, they did it a very savvy way where you got to see all the bonuses, and depending on the level that you chose, the bonuses were grayed out, right? Were grayed out, crossed out. And the other thing that they did, the other thing that's really valuable for you to understand is that to do this, if you really want to do this well, looking at something like this, for example, something like this, you want to make the bonuses that you add, you want them to be extremely compelling. Like, this is one of those things where you've got to put the same level of thought into these bonuses that you do into the core offer, right? Like, because you want somebody to hit this page and say, my God, I really want that one bonus. That's worth a heck of a lot more than just $100. And that's the thinking that happens, right? Like, I don't want to miss out on that bonus for $100. That bonus is worth more than $100, right? Like, and it's so good, it's so compelling. That's what you have to think about. I don't want you, then the reason why I'm kind of beating this drum is because the thing that I don't want you to do, I don't want you to say, I need 3 levels. Let me figure out what I'm going to put at level 1, I'll add this to level 2, and I'll add a couple more videos and audios to level 3, and then wonder why barely anybody is taking advantage of these higher 2. The key is that you've got to engineer it. And you engineer it with the quality of the bonuses that you add and the enormous value that gets added to this, right? So you add, call it 1 or 2 amazing additional bonuses to this bad boy, and then you add even crazier. You might add, they get those 2 bonuses plus 3 other things in a full-blown course that's worth $700 or whatnot that you sell elsewhere, or that you never offer to anybody else that they can't get at any other time, that does blah, 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 right? Where that additional bonus itself is worth the same price that you're paying for the entire bundle. You see what I'm saying? Because what you want to do on this page is you want to do 2 things. And like, understand this, please. You want to engineer it so that the things that you are giving make these different offers a better deal than this. Right? Where like this is a better deal than this based on the value that you're getting, and this is the best deal on the whole page. You also want to make it, right? What happens? The prospect goes, it's 99. For an extra 100, that's what they're thinking in their head. For an extra 100, I can get X. And so what X is that you're including, you have to make it so that X is worth substantially more than the jump from this to this. And then if you include X and Y in this, X and Y need to be worth more than the jump from this to this.